Hey, hello friends, welcome back to Belize. I am standing here up in the mountains again. So I'm at a place called Rio On Pools. This is a spot in the river that's been washed out and has created some pools here in the rocks. And they have a little storyboard here that's kind of an interesting read. Hopefully this gets close enough to where you can see it. Go ahead and just pause and read that if you would like. It does talk a little bit about the formation of the pools, and one thing that I've always kind of been interested in here in Belize is the noted lack of any conversation about evolution. Like this one here says that it created some pockets and stuff in the rock during thousands of years, not millions. So that's always been kind of cool to me that they do that. I'm going to walk down here to this observation area here and get an overview, and then we'll hike down to the pools. So as you were able to see there, and then also probably read on the sign, the granite is black. I don't know if it's naturally black or if it obviously has some other sort of mineral deposits in there that turned it black, or if it has algae or what on it. But according to the information sign, it causes the rocks to get hot enough to where there's not really a whole lot of bugs and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I definitely could use a little bit of a bug-free portion of my vacation. I'm about out of lavender, putting it on mosquito bites, and the bug spray. You know, I've never really felt like it works, but man, I feel like it doesn't work. So I'm kind of hiking from the walking. Hiking's not really the right word, especially after the waterfalls. I digress. I'm walking down the road from a little observation point where I just was towards the trails. The road coming in here was interesting. They have a portion of it under construction. They're actually improving it. Of course, the detour is extremely adventurous, especially if you're driving this. Once you get off the area where they are working on the improvements, it starts becoming about like this area I'm walking in right now. The area they're working on, they road graded and drove over with vibropactors, so it's really smooth coming in, but the last like 2.5 miles were fairly humpy jumpy. So here's some signs talking about the flora and fauna, endemic plant species of the area. So once again, I'll let you guys just pause here and read that. This seems like has some of the same, and I guess it's a little bit different information than what was up top. The trail to the panoramic viewing area has a difficult level of easy, but to the pools is moderate. Some physical fitness to traverse. Not appropriate for the physically impaired. So as compared to the waterfall hike 2 days ago, define moderate. Initial impression of the trail looks good. We'll see how it looks up ahead. So you first come down the trail, there's a little path that goes over that way. Sign says restrooms. I imagine people are up there changing as well. This is cement that doesn't look very old. I'm not sure what these symbols mean. Just people having fun, maybe. I don't know. I'm sure it means something to somebody. The rock does look a little mineral stained, but also kind of looks like soot, to be honest. So again, I'm not real sure what causes it to be black. That first sign I showed you almost made it sound like a natural phenomena. There are definitely multiple options for hiking through here, not really one laid out trail. And more changing rooms, so that's really cool that they put that there. No glass bottles. There's certainly more people here than I was hoping for, but I guess that's to be expected. Especially given the condition of the road on the way in, I just really didn't expect to see too many people that would go through it. Because, I mean, you know, sometimes you get to construction zones and detours aren't very well laid out. And these detours were not well laid out at all. I was constantly sure I was in the wrong spot. But I have arrived. Even given the amount of cars at the parking lot, it just seems like there's too many people here for the amount of cars that were up there. When you saw there was only like 6 or 8 cars and there's like 30 people down here, so. Let's go get creative. And everybody's looking at me weird because I'm not in a bathing suit, but those of you that know me know I'm not really a swimmer. Can swim, just choose not to. If it were like that hike to the waterfall where I was drenched in sweat, I would definitely get in just to cool off. The water has this interesting appearance to it. Murky is not the right word, and the reflection here is not letting you see kind of down into depth. It looks like it's clear, just colored, so I don't really know better way to describe that. I'm sorry. Like, it doesn't, I don't get the feeling that it's dirty water. It definitely looks like it's clean water, just like it has coloring in it. And it may be the color of the rocks underneath of it being refracted through the water might be what's causing that. See, now up here you almost feel private. Nobody came up here, they all went downstream. It's easier to get to. I didn't get the camera up on time, sorry. Over here jumping across rocks, and I startled a snake and he just took off across the water. Trying to get some footage of him, but I found myself a little canyon. Definitely nobody up here. Apparently just snakes. Seems like a good place for them to hide. There are a lot of boas here, and of course they're not the yellow ones, they're the hard to see ones. So I am being a little careful, hopefully not find a boa. The natives tell me they find them quite often around houses and stuff like that, and in crawl spaces and other quiet protected spots they find them. So that you'll lift up a hard hat and there'll be a boa underneath of it. So I am kind of keeping an eye out for those. It's not really the kind of hug I'm looking for right now. You can certainly tell where there's been some other erosion, but it's interesting that here the rock is super smooth. Definitely water and other stuff running over it at one point, right? Even up here, it's fairly smooth. It's not as smooth, but certainly smoother than up here. But over here where the water is still running through it, it's not any smoother than this. And certainly not as smooth as that. So that's where I say the water's not murky, it's just colored because of the way the rock is underneath of it. Because if there was silt and other stuff in the rock, the erosion on this rock would be going a lot faster. Of course it is granite, so it's pretty solid, but so is the stuff I'm standing on that's really smooth. And that's what I was kind of saying on that sign too, is there was places where there were silt ponds where it had spiraled and swirled and stuff and had made it smooth like this. Even up here, these rocks are extremely smooth. There's no water running over it, but the rocks surrounding it are very coarse. I'm gonna try to cross right there and climb on that rock and over here. I could maybe make this jump, but it could hurt really bad if I miss. I don't care if I get wet, I have extra clothes. I'm gonna try and do that. Well, that was easy. And worth it. This is certainly where a drone would be nice, but yeah, I need the workout. And I'm almost sweaty enough to talk myself into changing and getting in. The water's like 75 degrees, so it's not cold by any means. It's not hot, definitely not cold. Man, this is cool. Not a cruise ship excursion for sure. This is something you just have to come do. You have to want it. If I lived here, I would spend too much time back here. Guaranteed. I kind of told you where I was. Rio Juan Ponds is in Cayo, so that is western Belize. Get some bearings here. So Guatemala is there, like a 35-minute drive. If you were going as the crow flies and you're flying as fast as a crow, you could probably get there in 25 minutes to a half hour. Maybe a little farther. I might not be as close as I think, but I'm pretty close. So San Ignacio is just off that way, so Guatemala, San Ignacio. And that's kind of like the first major town coming from Guatemala, last major town going to Guatemala. Not too far from there. I'm trying to remember the name. Catamal, I think is how you say the name, if I'm getting it right. Is the name of the town that I'm kind of on my way to. I'm not going to, but that's how from Belmopan you would head towards that city to get here. And like I said, the road's kind of all torn up and disrepair. So it was adventurous getting here, which is appreciated for sure. I will take mountains and jungles over beaches any day. Not to mention, if I were standing on pretty much any beach in Belize right now, I would see people. And I was gonna say I can't see any people, but here are two people trying to invade my privacy. How rude. Go away. Well, anyway, enough chatting. I'm gonna hang out here for a while and then find my way back down the mountain. When I was planning this trip, I was considering bringing my inflatable stand-up paddleboard. And I was kind of going back and forth on it, saying, you know, it's going to be an extra bag that I gotta lug around. It's heavy, so I'm really only going to use it places I can drive to. Would I use it? Would I use it? Would I use it? And I thought, you know, I'm probably not going to. Now, it would have been, I don't want to say impossible to get it back here. It would have been extremely difficult for sure. It's been quite a challenge. Plus, there's not really an area here to inflate it, and you know, how big is this pond, right? Get around the corner and find out it's that far and come back and you've inflated it for 4 minutes of use, and then you've got to deflate it and suck all the air back out and put it back in your bag. It would be kind of cool. Even to just go lay on it out there. But, you know, such is life. I suppose if I was really that curious, I could have put on my swimsuit and just go swim out there and find out where it goes. There's probably nothing in there that's going to eat me, right? I was told that if you can't see through the water, don't swim in it because there are crocodiles. I doubt there's crocodiles in this. This doesn't seem like a crocodile place. What would they eat? There's nothing here. There's no fish for them. If they are, they're small. Crocodiles don't eat snakes, right? Or do they? There's no place for them to crawl out, I don't think. And I feel like if there are crocodiles, there'd be signs. So, again, should just go swimming. This cloud cover is fantastic. I imagine this would suck without it. I am very, very grateful for this cloud cover. Actually, most of my trip was forecast to be overcast and rainy. It's rained 3 times on me, mostly at night. The first day I got here, it rained a lot, but otherwise it's rained at night, and that's it. So actually, it's rained every day I've been here. It's just been raining at night, like 11 to 4 a.m. kind of time period. Wake up in the morning, it's nice and cool. It's not burning hot. Cools down the house around midnight-ish. So haven't been out in the rain except for, like I said, when I first got here, and then 2 other times, but it wasn't really rain, it was sprinkle. So the forecast has been accurate, I guess, but like I said, the overcast has been nice. Yesterday at the zoo, it wasn't too hot. When I hiked the waterfalls, it was very humid and muggy. But those were down by sea level. I was at Dangriga, which is on the coast. I think I was a 20-minute drive from Dangriga, so the mugginess was, part of that. But it is not very humid here. It's definitely not as hot. Of course, now that I'm talking about it, the sun came back out. I don't think it'll be out for Yeah, never mind. It's going to be out for a while. I'm rambling and it's interrupting my meditation. I should stop. Just how cool is this? We get to live here on this planet with things that look like this. And yet I hear all the time, oh man, I want to move to the city where there's things happening. Yeah, you do that. Stay out of my lagoon. Hey, look, I found a beach. Now I can tell people I went to the beach while I was in Belize. Still counts. So this green roof building you see up in the distance is where I started. Kind of the overlook from up there. So we've made it down here. It also looks like there's a trail right there. Although trail may be the wrong word. It might just be an area where water runoff has claimed its territory. Half of me wants to continue hiking down that way, the other half of me doesn't. And I am still contemplating now possibly putting my swimsuit on and getting in, because my cloud cover has migrated and the sun has not. So it would be okay if my clouds came back. Would definitely be welcome. I don't know if you can hear me over the water, but I like this part right here. This would have been sweet with nobody here. Although, a lot of people have left, so it's starting to become much cooler. I wonder, places like this before the continent, before the planet shut down because somebody in China got a headache, were these places packed? Were they busy? Was there a lot of people here? Would this have been like Vegas? It is out of the way, but obviously not so far out of the way nobody comes. Most of the people here are speaking Spanish, so I assume they're Guatemalan. Likely live somewhere around here. So it's difficult to tell how busy this place would or wouldn't be. The parking lot has definitely been pretty torn up, and so is the road. But a lot of that could just have been, you know, nobody used it for 2.5 years. There were no tourists allowed in the country, more or less. So it's possible that a lot of it just got neglected due to nobody being here. That's also possible nobody ever came in the first place. This might be as busy as it ever was. That's difficult to say. There are a lot of pictures on Google if you look it up. But all it takes is one person with a camera and you can take 1,000 pictures, so. Whether or not it was busy before and whether or not anybody ever came and got to enjoy this, I am truly grateful for the opportunity to be able to be here and enjoy it myself. Very, very grateful for this.